Hi, my name is Carina and welcome to the Carina Chronicles. Today I'm going through my January TBR. I know I'm a little bit late, but you still will enjoy this video because there are so many books in here. It's a ridiculous start of the year. So let's start. Hi, welcome back. I have a January TBR and it's too big. It's too big, please. Please, it's too big. And that has a reason. Because I figured out in 2023 something that I thought would never be the case. But I am apparently someone that likes to read multiple books at the same time. I always thought please let me focus on one book, and maybe there was a book that came in between because I had a deadline and needed to finish it, but then I would read that book only and then go back to the book that I was originally reading. I have been reading multiple books at the same time for the last few months, and I really like it. But that also means that I was in the middle of, I don't know, 7 books at the end of December. So I managed to finish some, but not all of them. So I'm already in the middle of some books, and I want to start new books as well because it's January. So my TBR is quite big. Let's quickly start. It's too much to ramble on about. So as I said, there are quite some books that I started already in 2023, and I first want to go through those books because I really want to finish them in January. I want to be done with them. So on with the first one. I left the dust jacket upstairs, but you will know this book. It is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. Look, pretty, right? This is a book. It is kind of a cozy science fiction. If you haven't heard about this book, I congratulate you on being not so social media influenced as I am. But this book is really popular. Everyone loved how it's like an orc that starts a coffee shop and we hear stories, and it's just cozy and should read really fast and it's pretty. So everyone loves this. There's already a prequel actually, which is also quite popular. I own it as well. I think you can exactly not see it because it's up here, but I do own it. It's Bookshops and Bone Dust. And Bookshops and Bone Dust I will buddy read in 2024. So I need to finish this beforehand. So I was like, oh, I'll finish this in 2023. I didn't. But I did start. I'm, how many pages am I in? I think, I've read the prologue. So I'm at page 5. So in the middle of a book is quite of an exaggeration for this one. But, well, I am excited about it. I am. I don't know why it took me so long. I think there were always books that had a little bit of a higher priority. But now I really want to finish it in January. So maybe. The next book is embarrassing, to say the least. The next book that I want to finish in January is Wizard and Glass by Stephen King, the 4th part in the Dark Tower series. I have loved the first 3 parts of the Dark Tower series with whole my heart. So when I picked this one up in June, I don't know, it's ridiculous. I thought, yay, we're going to read a 5-star read and it will go by easy. It didn't go by easy. Okay, June is maybe also an exaggeration, but I really don't know. This book has 850 pages and I'm at page 487. So I have quite a way to go, but I'm also quite somewhere in the story. So the Dark Tower series is a story, well, every book has its own adventure and own characters, and it's actually a little bit too complicated to explain. But this book is a little bit of a sidetrack because they're going to tell the history of one of the characters. This is why some people think this is a horrible book, and it shouldn't have been in the series. It was just a way for Stephen King to continue in the series while he didn't know how to continue the series. Others think it's great because it shows the backstory of the main character of the story and you finally get to know him really well. I'm a little bit in the middle because I do find it interesting, but it is definitely not as good as the other books in my opinion. So it got me a little bit in a reading slump. But I do pick it up with like excitement every time I pick it up. It's just, it goes so slow for me to read. That was also with the other books. I just don't read English that fast. And with high fantasy, it's even slower. And with Stephen King and these small letters, it's even slower. So then I read an hour and it's like 30 pages and that just doesn't really add up. So that gets me in the slope a bit. But well, I want to finish it in January. Please let me finish it in January. So the next one is quite something. The next one is Inferno by Dante. But then written by Liesla Vrijsen, a translation from the Blossom Books World Classics collection, a publisher in the Netherlands. And I loved all their translations. They're also kind of simplified. So you get the story and you get the essence, but it doesn't read that hard. At least with the other books. But this one is still something. It's still in verse. There are still a lot of references to things I don't know. There are a million Brazilian trillion footnotes. I'm at page 59. I'm also at footnote 59, which is horrible. But it does read quite fast. I just need to get myself to read it. This is probably something that if I would be a DNF person, I would DNF this, but I want to have read it. I want to know what it is about. I want to be able to talk about this. So I'm going to finish it, hopefully this month. So these 3 books I have been reading for a while now. And I said to myself, I need to finish one of these before I can finish one of the newer books. So this one's probably the first one I'm going to finish in 2024. Probably. Because it's the easiest to finish and then I can finish one of the books that I'm excited about for January. Then we have 2 books that I'm reading because of a buddy read. I also figured out last year that I really like reading tandem with a friend, so that you really decide, okay, this week we're going to read up till that point and then we're going to discuss it before we continue. Which also means that at a certain point you need to stop. Which probably also helped with my now reading multiple books. Because if you stop in a book and you can't continue, you still want to read, you pick up another book. So that probably helped. But I've got the book Zoals onder water by Sara Novíc. This is quite a popular book in English. Let me figure out what it's called again. True Biz. Completely different cover. Completely different cover. I will put it on the screen. True Biz. It was also a Reese Witherspoon book club pick. But this book comes out at the end of January in Dutch. And I got an ARC like half a year ago. It sounded interesting, but I didn't really get to it already. But I want to finish it in January so that I can tell the people in the bookstore, I work in a bookstore, I don't know if you know that, what it is about and if I liked it or not. I always like to have that with books that are recently published, which is why I read a lot more Dutch books than years before. And getting an ARC also helps with that, because then I know by the point that it comes out what it is about and stuff. I've read until page 85 at the moment of filming this. I'm buddy reading it with a colleague who thought the same and also got an ARC. And it is so interesting. I'm so interested in what is happening. Like, you also get explanation of how to do, how do you say that in English? Sign language. So really interesting. I'm really impressed up till here. So I hope I like the rest as well. But that one I will finish in January so I can tell everyone what's it about. And I'm also on a quest with friends, 2 friends actually, to find the best Dark Academia book this year. We bought a lot and we're going to read them all together and have like this bingo and a point system of how to rate if it is a good Dark Academia. I can make a video about this if you would like that. Let me know if you would like that. But we started with The Secret History by Donna Tart. And we're reading a chapter a week because the chapters are quite big actually. And we want to make a lot of annotations and stuff about it. So it will take us, this book is 600 pages. You don't really notice that, but it's 623 or something. I just looked it up. But, well... so this will take us a while. So I won't be finishing this in January. I will finish it in February, probably, hopefully. But you will know that I am reading this in January. I read the first chapter. I am intrigued. I was quite hyped up. So we'll see. Like my friends didn't agree, so curious to see how this continues. And then something I should read in January is a book club book, and we have our meeting on the 1st of February, so I don't have a choice. I need to read this in January. And that is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. The theme of this month's pick was second chances, kind of, or like starting over, a new life, something like that. And I think this actually fits perfectly, but well, I didn't like recommend this book to the book club, someone else did. I haven't really started, I only read the prologue, but I'm intrigued. I love the cover. I have been wanting to read this forever, so I'm also liking that I'm also reading a book that is quite popular, like then we can discuss it at least. So yeah, we'll see if I like it. Good to have a fantasy in here. I mean, I also have the Dark Tower series, but is that really fantasy? It's more like high fantasy. This is a little bit lower stakes. Another book that I almost forgot to mention, which is why it's also not on the thumbnail, but well, we like little surprises, you know, is A Bright Heart by Chenli. It is a Chinese fantasy and I'm reading it as a travel book, which means this book is not my book. It's a book from someone else and I will annotate it and put all my thoughts in a little notebook and then I will ship it to the next person. So I'm reading this, but I have until the end of March, or actually even the beginning of April, because then is our like next moment that we will exchange the books. I am excited about this. This is also about a second chance. This is like more like reincarnation kind of thingy. Someone dies, but she gets another chance to make a difference and don't die, which is interesting. I'm curious to see what I think about it, but it won't have priority in January. So to be honest, I think I will read this in February. The same holds for a book that I don't even have in my hands yet, but for the same principle, like reading, annotating, and then giving it to the next one. I'm doing that with colleagues as well. And the book that I will have to read first is Fear the Silence by Robert Brinstad, a thriller. But I don't have it in my hands yet, so I can't really start yet. But I also have time until the end of March to read that, so it will also not have priority. But I will read those. Then only 3 more books to go. I know this is ridiculous, but okay. If you have seen my TBR jar video, you know that I will also try to read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom. And this is a middle grade book. I think I can finish it quite quickly. That's why I chose this one as well. Because with my TBR jar I could choose between 3 books. And one was a classic, which was quite a heavy one. The other one was Angels and Demons by Dan Brown, which is 800 pages. I was like, no, please. And then we had a middle grade, so I chose this one. But I am really excited about it and I really want to finish it in January to start the TBR jar challenge well. And then I'm reading 2 books at work. I stopped bringing my books everywhere because they got ruined and I almost never use them. So what I now do is I put a book I work at 2 places in the bookstore, 2 different cities, and I put a book at both places. So if I have a break or something, I can read there. And if I finish it, I take it home and I bring a new book. And I just leave it there. So I only read when I'm at work and have a break. And for at one spot I'm quite often, and the other spot like at most once a week. So that book is getting quite slow. I started it in November or something. It is Het Lied van Ariane by Petra. This is a Dutch young adult fantasy. And it is about, the series is called Orpheus Children, and it is about people that use music as kind of magic, and they need to fight demons. That's everything I know by now. I think I'm like 100 pages in out of 400 or something, so this will take a while because I only read at most once a week 30 pages, so it takes a while. And at my job where I'm most often, the office where I'm usually in, I have Dead Girls Don't Talk by Sandra G. Paul, which is a very interesting book. You have 2 friends and one killed the other, and you read both perspectives, but you can choose which one you want to read first. I chose to read the victims ones first. You read the whole book, and then you turn the book around and you start the whole story over, but from the other point of view. And then in the middle, that you read the middle in the end, and that will tell you what actually happened, because people can still lie, of course. So I'm almost at the end of the part of the victim, and then I need to read the whole book from the point of view of the murderer. And then we will see what actually happened. Was she really a murderer? Or was she? I don't know. That one is really cool though, and it reads really fast. So I have 30 minutes break, but usually I read like between 30 and 40 pages. And I'm almost there every day, so that one I will finish in January. Hi, editing Karina. I forgot to say something. I'm also taking part in all the Aurelian readathons. And this time we are doing a whole year long adventure again with a prompt every month. And the prompt for this month that I'm choosing at least is reading a physical book, which is quite easy because I read all my books physically. The other one was reading an audiobook, and I don't do that, so I chose this one. And I'm choosing Legendborn for that one. So I need to finish Legendborn this month, but I already knew that. So that was actually it. This was quite long. I'm sorry, I need to get used to talking a little bit faster again. And just don't elaborate on the books this much. But these were all the books that I want to read in January. I hope you like them. Let me know if you've read any of these. If you have opinions about them, I would love to know. What are you going to read in January? What is your favorite upcoming book? Are you going to read some new releases maybe? Let me know. That was actually it. I really hope you liked this video. I hope you'll have a lovely day filled with books, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye! It has been a while, but it was so exciting to start filming again. I really hope you liked this video.